I don't think that's a good thing for kids. I hope no one else is doing a bit, but I'm doing a bit.
Daddy's got a pod.
I'm Casey Kasem, and this one's for the perverts.
Join us in our strange ritual.
That is time-traveling love smut.
I can only say horny in one season opener.
A medium amount of fun and an extra large amount of sweaty.
From the minds that brought you Giraffe and Amerisaur.
No regrets, no masters.
I got dick jokes to make, man. Leave me alone.
This is good. This is good for anyone.
This one's going to be weird. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how, as of episode release, we are officially entering the let's revisit this in the new year territory. So, listeners, you have our permission. Those emails are January's problem now. That is not your problem. That is January U's problem.
It is why we say it's the best time of the year.
Yeah, truly. I am clinging to that week, just targeting that week after Christmas. And if we're in next year's problem territory, then we're at the final stretch.
That week is akin to money that you find in your pocket.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Venmo money.
Yeah.
Venmo credit. Yeah, doesn't count.
Calories you eat aren't real.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The beer you drink after working out doesn't matter. Doesn't count.
It's Monopoly money.
It feels the same way that summer break felt in middle school, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and look behind the curtain. You three don't know this. Listeners, you don't know this. The initial draft of this intro was going to be that a month from now starts that perfect window.
Oh, sure.
But that's a little too much copium for me. That is
we'll get there.
A little too far away. Yeah, we need at least another episode or two before we can talk about that magical, 7 to 10 days that no one is doing anything. I mean, except for retail workers that you do the real work. You're the real heroes.
They are the real heroes.
Speaking of heroes,
hey,
that's not a good segue. I'm just moving on.
That is a segue.
There are dozens of different holidays celebrated in the United States between November and January. Source cited here. That means that there are dozens of opportunities to spend time with your loved ones, to enjoy old family recipes, and to make as much small talk as humanly possible to avoid actually discussing the deep-seated issues that your family chooses to repress year after year.
No comment.
Todd, are you throwing punches this Thanksgiving? Is that what I'm hearing?
Every year it's really a coin flip. My partner is a much more level-headed human than I am, so I think she keeps me in check, but if it were up to me, it'd just be punches and confrontation all the way down.
Dropping bows for years now.
Every year it's a coin flip, and every 4 years you flip that coin with disadvantage.
Jesus. So, though we may be looking forward to connecting with our loved ones, there is a universal truth. There is a universally dreaded event that we all arrive at some point in our lives, and that is introducing a new partner to your family.
Yeah.
And listen, we all know. We get it.
We were there.
And if that's not bad enough, what if that person was a superhero or a comic book character who was, well, let's say problematic in some way?
Not our supers men or wonders women.
No, you don't get a first round Hal Jordan poll on this one. But fortunately for you, the listeners, the other hosts of this podcast are here to tell you all about the time that they took a problematic comic book character home to meet their family. So trauma dumping with me today is Kyle. Please stop referring to them as, quote, my friend, Harper. Andrew, yes, you will need to buy them a stocking, Henderson. And Matt, please don't make it awkward by planning a whole family photo where they're the only one left out, but somehow my sister's estranged husband gets to be in the picture, Cole.
Oops, that one was real.
Oh, that could have been. Had some stink on it, Todd.
Could have been.
Yeah, I've been Kyle's, and I've circled back. If you wait long enough, here's a fun fact. If you go long enough without marrying your long-term partner, you will go from the calling them your friend phase to out of it to your family going back to calling them your friend. So that's where I am.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. Neat.
Oh, it's like an Ouroboros situation.
Yeah, it really is. It's the friendship circle.
See, I think that's a decision tree, because I went down the path of just stop correcting people when they call her my wife. and went from there. So
I feel like it's the path of least resistance every time.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, as long as it's not upsetting, fine. We move on.
Yeah.
Speaking of upsetting and moving on,
Yeah. So here's where we're at.
that's a segue.
That is a good segue. Let's run that one as opposed to what I did earlier. We're jumping into it. Who are you bringing home to your family's holiday? Where do we know them from? And like, just for some context, what makes them just a little bit problematic? And we'll start with Kyle.
So, Todd, you would think someone using the moniker the Joker's daughter would be related to the Joker somehow, like through blood or adoption or something. That's not the case. So I'm bringing home this holiday Dwella Dent, who is known in the DC Comics universe as the Joker's daughter, among other names. This character, although I think only under the name Dwella Dent, appeared in the Batwoman series that briefly aired on CW, as well as Gotham Knights, a show I think I've heard of, but also may never have heard of before in my life.
What a B-side, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dwella Dent is a hero turned villain, was on the Suicide Squad at one point and now is on the Teen Titans, and is a Harley Quinn type, and also not entirely sane, let's say.
This image that someone keeps blipping in and out of reality on the dock is disturbing.
I'm so sorry.
Hate
I'm having
this character design.
Yeah.
I'm having a terrible time with Google Docs, but I'll get it in there eventually. And if you're at the $10 level of our Patreon, you can see this picture that has the words "Daddy's Girl" displayed in a prominent and upsetting way.
Yeah, I mean, she's got boobs, in case you were wondering. She does.
Yep. Before I cede the rest of my time, I want to remind everyone here of the arc of the New 52 comics where the Joker cut off his face and then stapled his face back on. That's going to be relevant later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that old thing. You know, the second most important thing after Blackest Night in DC Comics lore history.
There we go. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I got it. I fixed it.
I hate this character design.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes. Last name Dent. So this is Harvey Dent's daughter?
Nope.
What?
No relation?
No relation.
Impossible.
Cool.
I'm guessing that was the angle they went with in one of, if not both of these shows that I mentioned on the CW, but apparently not. Apparently just real big fan of the Joker.
Wikipedia is saying that she is Two-Face's daughter, which
did I miss that?
has to be.
Wikipedia is not always right with comic stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, I'm
Because
torn.
my Batman fandompedia said born to middle class people in the suburbs.
So the same thing, remember when we talked about Kang one of the very many times, the same thing tripped me up because one of the wikis will tell you that Kang is Nathaniel Richards, and the wiki will tell you that Kang is both Nathaniel Richards and is both Reed Richards' father and son.
Yeah, that's a square and rectangle situation.
Because of timey-wiminess.
Yeah.
And comics do shit like this all the time where it's like adoptive parents or like birth parents or like Scarlet Witch is Magneto's daughter, but not really parents, like that shit.
Oh, okay. I did I misread her opening paragraph, though.
Okay.
It is Two-Face's daughter.
Okay.
I would
She
have to be
obfuscated that information for a while.
And like, to be fair, I was stuck on it's 50-50. Either she is, and it's like, what a cool reveal, or it's not, and it's a whole plot that she's
it's
not.
a whole thing.
Yeah.
Kyle, this is, you've truly brought in what I can only label as manic pixie dream girl. Energy
that was what I was going for. I was assuming
Manic Pixie Nightmare Girl.
Yeah.
I was assuming like I'm recently married. I'm pretty happy, so I'm assuming this is my life fell apart situation. And
Fair.
Perfect.
this is what happens the year after. So
She does look like a League of Legends character.
yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
but like AI generated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna scroll the notes down so I don't have to look at this anymore. Andrew, who'd you take to the holidays?
It is November 2024. I stare into the waxy veneer of the instant potatoes in front of me. The people around me, they laugh and cry and yell and soothe each other. Some try to connect, but many of them drone on for the sake of their own vanity. I look up and I see John, passing a fading smile at me. I reciprocate the lie. It's February 2022. I'm in line for coffee. A man in front of me fumbles a cartoonishly large stack of papers. As I bend down to help him pick it up, we lock eyes. His name is John. He tells me he's an atomic physicist working on a top-secret government contract. I tell him about the Zoom meetings I sit on every day. He's kind, he's interesting, and he laughs at my jokes. It is March 2022. I see John undress for the first time. His hog swings low, like a pendulum.
Oh, whoa!
It is September 2022. John is presumed dead after a freak accident at the lab. A token funeral was held. There was no body. Several days later, reports of ghosts pop up around the lab. That is, until ghosts turn to a fully formed exoskeleton. And then one day, John suddenly appears, but now completely hairless and glowing bright cerulean all over. His dong glows a pale powder blue. It is January 2023. John continues his work for the government, but instead of creating weapons, he's become the weapon himself. They call him Dr. Manhattan, a name steeped in irony. It is March 2009. I'm walking out of the theater having seen Zack Snyder's Watchmen for the very first time. I weep. We're doing Dr. Manhattan. Doing Dr. Manhattan. It's Dr. Manhattan.
And to be clear, this is big purple or big blue naked Dr. Manhattan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, the one and only, Todd.
Didn't you hear him? His hog's swinging low.
His hog swinging low.
He's got a sweet chariot of a hog.
You have both given me different troubling things, and I'm really stuck so far.
What did you ask for then, Todd?
No, I know what I did. I did. I'm really just stuck on like when either one of these two walk through the door, the family's reaction is oh.
Yeah.
Like and not oh look at them, but like oh my loved one is going through something.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda.
about right.
Andrew, does Dr. Manhattan hang dong at family dinner?
Of course. Dr. Manhattan hangs brain every hour of the day, baby.
Oh, man.
Where we're going,
hate
we don't
it here.
need clothes.
No, this is incredible. Perfect. You know what? This is great. I think this will go over well. Matt, let's hear about you. Who is your new partner you brought home for the holidays?
Yeah, Todd. So I have had a lot of conversations with my family over the years about when I am gonna be bringing home a grandson, a granddaughter, a niece, a nephew, a child of some sort. You know, we've all had these conversations with our parents.
Child. Not yours, just a child.
Yeah.
Just a child that you found.
Something they can dote on.
Yeah. As is said in the ancestry, time is fleeting and your only true purpose is to reproduce. And so after, years of telling my family I'm just really not that interested in having kids, again, in this strange reality where life has taken a fucking turn, I have found a solution to that problem so that my family can finally stop asking me when I am going to provide new blood for the lineage. And that's why this season, am introducing my family to my new life partner, Crib, an alien hag with a yellow lantern ring and a particular affinity for children.
What?
Now, Matt, is hag a word you chose or a word Crib uses to describe themselves?
Good question.
That is a DC Comics word. That's how DC Comics describes Crib.
This isn't like a that's our word kind of a situation.
No.
Yeah.
I think hag is a profession more than an acronym.
Like a D&D hag.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
She's a witch type hag.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Was like,
This
is
picture rules.
Is it a descriptive adjective or is it a title of some kind?
Yeah.
So you may notice that Crib has a giant sack of babies on her back.
Sure do.
No.
Oh, is that what
Yeah.
that is?
That is what
This-
that
I
is.
sure didn't.
So
This is a Bloodborne boss. This is just
no
straight up a
more
Bloodborne boss.
questions about when I'm having kids. I've got plenty. There's Crib's backpack.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great. Uno reverse card.
That'll show him.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
What's the thing in Thor 4, the bad one,
Yep.
the new bad one?
That was its name.
Yeah,
was its name.
then when they took all the kids, when they took all the Asgardian kids,
Yeah.
that's what this is. That's what this kind of is. But
That
like
is exactly what this is.
More nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I have watched Thor 4 a couple of times, and I still couldn't tell you why
sorry.
specifically they kidnapped the children of Asgard. And I can tell you why specifically Crib steals babies, but
That's a good pull, Andrew.
Feels very phase 2.
I'm getting. Did anyone watch Nope?
Yes. It's
Yes.
the thing where the people get sucked up. Yup.
When they show the footage like inside Jean Jacket,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unsettling.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot the
for a
monster
second
from
time.
Nope was named Jean Jacket.
Yeah,
That
it sure
rules.
is.
Yeah.
For a second time in this show, I am scrolling further down in the notes so I do not have to look at the partners you've brought to this holiday. Listen, okay, I know what I asked for, and this is great in that sense. Everything else about it is troubling, and I'm going to move on. Everyone knows that showing up to a major holiday with a new partner is just, first off, absolute madness. It never goes as planned. So it's obvious that you all gave your family a heads up. How did you prepare your family to meet your partner? Did you give them any specific warnings? And also, how this picture of Dr. Manhattan
He's swanging.
hogging out is incredible. I'm going to start this again.
Oh my God.
How did you prepare your family to meet your partner? Did you give them any specific warnings? And also, just for funsies, how did you two meet?
All right. So let me set the scene here. I run into the house, clearly rushing ahead to say something to my family before my new partner catches up. Surprisingly nonchalant about the stab wound in my shoulder and the small trickle of blood coming from it. Here we go. Guys, don't say anything about what Dwella is wearing. It's been a thing. It's not great. It's not going to go well. So just don't bring it up. I know it's off-putting. I know it's not hygienic. It's fine. And then she walks in wearing what I can only describe as a slutty clown costume / maybe Robin uniform.
Oh.
And
Whoop whoop.
the decaying, what appears to be a decaying face as a mask. Her shirt has like "Vaxxed and Proud" like scratched into it in like a DIY font, like you know,
Okay.
like going for the COVID thing with the mask. She's masking because of COVID. So Dwella Dent, at some point in her career as a villain, found the discarded face of the Joker in a sewer and decided to wear
Just
it.
found it.
Just found
Just
it.
found it.
Just scooped it up.
Okay.
Specifically saw it floating in the water and did a like, when will my reflection show who I am inside moment with it. And here we are. So everyone just be cool. It's not, we're working on it, but don't bring it up, please.
Wow.
A lot of this is upsetting. And I want to be clear, Matt just showed us a thing that keeps a cage of kids on its back.
Yeah.
What's more upsetting is finding a discarded face in the sewer and going, huh, and then putting it on.
Yeah.
I have a legitimate question. Is this woman a villain or a hero?
Yes.
That sounds
Suicide
right.
Squad.
Villain
Got it.
turned hero.
Okay. You did say Harley Quinn
Yeah.
type. That's fair.
It really is. It's just a different colorway of Harley Quinn. This is like how Dark Samus and Samus are the same hero.
They did. Yeah, they just kind of needed to do Harley Quinn again, but like a little edgier.
Yeah.
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 And then 10 more times. Like,
Well, it had to be, it's like teenage Harley Quinn
Yeah.
is like the thing.
yeah.
Oh, great. That's better.
It's not.
It's not, it's different.
Nope.
Kyle, you may have glossed over this, but how did you two meet? Is there any fun, meet cute story of you and Dwella Dent, like hands brushing past each other at the Hot Topic store, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. I mentioned I'm on a bit of a downswing currently. I don't want to say nothing too crazy, but here we are. So just normal stuff. It was
That's fair.
say like protest outside of a Planned Parenthood, like counter protest to Planned Parenthood. She is very feminist in a weird way, but
Silver linings and whatnot.
yeah,
Not nothing.
gotta look for those green flags where you can.
Boy, you're searching for them. Andrew, how about you? What kind of heads up did you give? How did that end up? How did you all meet?
So I think these days, we're all too well aware that the mainstream right-leaning media that many of our parents enjoy isn't like super keen on, science and scientists these days. Just general global statement. So, one would figure bringing an accredited atomic physicist to dinner, while like 10 to 15 years ago would have been impressive, today could be misconstrued in some circles as elitist, quote unquote. However, there is one very particular atomic physicist who will always and forever be excluded from this rule. Do you guys know who that is? That's right. It's Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
What are you doing on this podcast, Andrew?
What is happening?
So
Why
that's
would you
the
invoke
pitch.
the dark powers?
If you say it 2 more times, he shows up Beetlejuice-like. So that's the pitch, right? I told my family, hey, I'm bringing a successful atomic physicist. He can fly and pull apart all inorganic and organic matter on a subatomic level. No reaction. Eyes just rolling back into their heads. But then I was like, he's like Sheldon from The Big Bang. And everyone was like, oh my God, my mom loves Sheldon. You guys, she loves Sheldon.
Did she watch Young
Everyone's
Sheldon?
mom loves Sheldon.
She a Young Sheldon fan?
She doesn't go into the deep lore. She's not like a Star Wars extended universe pervert. Like she just,
Okay.
Yeah.
she just does the trilogy. But yeah, everyone's mom loves Sheldon. Everyone's mom loves Sheldon. So I figure explaining John away like a Sheldon type, much like Kyle's person is a Harley Quinn type, this is a Sheldon type. I think this helps to explain away a lot of John's other mannerisms, because I may have mentioned the whole like obliterating literally anything or anyone just by like looking. John also doesn't experience time like the same way we do. Instead of a linear flow, John sort of experiences time like stacked on top of each other, like modularly. For example, like time for him is not a line, but just a series of events all happening interconnected. So because of that, he's got this really annoying habit of just telling people exactly when and how they die in like excruciating detail. It can be a bit of a bummer, especially around new company. Also, he likes to monologue like a lot. Like he loves to monologue. Brings me to the last point. He also doesn't like wearing clothes. And he always is, and I'm always like, put on a pair of pants. And he's like, what's the point? We're all going to fry under the oppressive heat of a dying planet anyway. And then I'm like, you're not wrong. Okay. So my like, hey, just so everybody knows, I called my parents and I said, you're just going to want to give him eye contact. Like, here's the thing. You're going to want to drift them eyes down to that hog. You're just going to want to check and see, hey, is that still there? It's still there. I promise it's not going anywhere. It's staring you right in the face. Just keep looking up. It's actually not that hard. Just look up. Just look up. It's fine.
Call it Halo Combat Evolved with all that hog drift is what I'm thinking. Right there.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
The question I have, same for Kyle. Any good stories about how you and Dr. Manhattan met? Was that also a hot topic?
I covered it a little bit in prompt 1. It was it was a meet cute in a coffee shop before the accident, if you will.
Before the bluification.
I can confirm that
Before he blew himself.
Before he blew himself. Yes, it always hung like that. I figured that's what you were wondering, so just figure I'd say this time.
Cutting to the chase.
Yeah.
It's much like jazz is the notes you don't play. This prompt is the questions you don't ask.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Matt, how about you and Crib?
Crib.
Yeah, it's Crib because it sounds like the thing that children go in, but it's spelled with a KY.
Oh, yeah, that makes
exactly.
sense.
You got it.
Comics are dumb.
So I had a long conversation with my family. Like I said, if there is one thing that they would be proud of me for it would be reproduction. And I've talked to them a lot about, I'm not super interested. It's not a life path that I really thought for myself, but an opportunity has arisen for me to start fostering children. And I do think that's really cool and really important.
Sounds like collecting children rather than fostering.
And I wanted to explain that to my family. So I sat down with them and let them know, for the next couple of years, maybe for the foreseeable future, young children may pass in and out of my life, and I'm going to do my best to impart my knowledge and wisdom and love and care on them when they're within my life. And then when they're able to move on into better, more permanent situations, then we'll be happy to see them do so. And the reason that I've gotten so into fostering is actually because of my new partner, who's been a long-term foster parent herself. So, Crib really takes in the children of takes in orphans, not the children of orphans. That'd be silly. Takes in orphan children. Now, whether or not Crib killed the children's parents is not relevant to the conversation.
I was just going to ask, Matt, how the orphans become orphans, Matt?
I don't think that matters. So
well, that's fair then.
Yeah, right. I have an opportunity to make a positive impact in the lives of just a continual stream of orphans. And honestly, I think that's really going to make my family proud of me and accepting of this new lifestyle, and hopefully help me get around that this long-term foster parent is in fact an alien hag. I'm hoping that we can get around that part.
Well, she can't help that, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. It's, she was born this way. Yeah. Todd, to answer the question I know you want to ask, we actually met at a meetup group for single parents. I was just there, like passing through the building. I'm not a single parent. And she was there finding new foster kids. So that was
feels like neither of you had any right to be there, to be honest.
Finding is quite the word to choose.
It's a choice
for the verb.
I think it's pretty descriptive.
At one point you mentioned how you want to positively impact these children's lives. And I just had the image of like you like calmly like A, B, C, D in front of a 30 screaming children and all tied up in this cage, all caught up in this little bone cage.
I was going to say too, Matt, you want to positively impact these kids? Might I suggest getting them out of that cage?
Yeah, maybe not having them in a cage.
I don't think that's a good thing for kids.
That's not, they're not in the cages all the time. It's like how if you kept your Pokemon in Pokeballs all the time, you'd feel terrible. You gotta, if they're not on your belt, you gotta let them free. I don't know, man. We're taking the kids out of the cage when we don't need to travel.
The kids aren't in the cages all the time feels like something we're gonna hear a politician say in T-minus 6 months.
Yeah, welcome to the next 4 years. Yikes.
The thing that I hate most about this is Matt just gave the example of like, well, if you kept the Pokemon in the Pokeball the whole time, you'd feel terrible. And I'm like, I would. Oh, God. And I don't like...
Did you empathize with the Pokemon quicker than you did the
No, I empathize with I gave a little bit too much leeway to this villain that Matt has brought for a brief moment before I snapped myself back into reality.
Right. I also don't like him posing the bone cage made of bones as like a cat carrier only for when they travel. I don't like that. I really don't. I need to put a point on that.
It's got a lot of like holes for breathing.
Well, all right.
I don't think we expressed any concern over that.
I cede my time.
Honestly, this is what I wanted. Not that like specific thing, but this is where we wanted to be.
You wanted kids in cages, Todd?
Prompt 3. You arrive at your holiday gathering And here's the thing. Our families at their core love us. They want us to feel welcome. They want us to feel successful. They want us to feel loved. When you arrived at your family gathering, what were the intentional things that your family did to help your new friend, quote, feel welcome? Were there any like special foods prepared? Did they prepare any special decorations? What did your family do to help your new friend feel comfortable? Describe how that kind of played out.
Yeah, Todd. So I did sort of prepare my family for Duela's arrival this holiday season. Kind of with the simple description of manic pixie dream clown. They were confused, but like got it. And
they all said, "Oh, Harley Quinn. Yeah, we know Harley Quinn."
And I said, "Don't bring her up. Bad idea."
We have Timu Harley Quinn is what we have.
My family planned some kind of like improv games, like charades and like some adapted like whose line is it anyway things to like try and play into it. And Todd, it did not go well. Knives were drawn, bodies were contorted, not willingly. It was bad. But I was able to smooth that over. Things were going pretty well until dessert rolled around. Now, my family has a few birthdays around the holidays as well. So we, try and slip in extra. We stack our celebrations, if you will, and we'll like celebrate a birthday while the whole family's together. And, typical birthday cake, got a sheet cake with a picture of the celebrant, the birthday boy on it, if you will. But things took a real quick turn when we brought the cake out and someone said, "Who wants some face cake?" While Duela still had her mask on. It got real awkward. We decided to call it early and head out rather than create more problems.
Do people ask about face cake often in your family?
It was like, I forget what. It was like in a show. They referred to as like a face cake. And it became like a running joke. So it happens.
Okay.
I don't like that either.
No, it's troubling in a different way.
Yeah.
And this is
we didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from, mind you, 3 minutes ago, Matt explained the physics of a bone cage made of bones. So
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew, how did your family make Dr. Manhattan feel welcome? How'd that play out?
So I want to defend my family and say I think they gave it their best shot.
A fair shake, if you will.
I will.
I wouldn't.
And
You could.
We shouldn't.
maybe we could. I do want to clarify. I can't stress enough how different, unflinching, constant eye contact changes the general vibe of an otherwise like benign family dinner, right? Because like all of a sudden any passive aggressive comment loses its passivity. Things that weren't even supposed to be combative are starting fights, right? Like it just makes everything a lot more unintentionally intense. So to try and cool tensions, my mom, you know how like do your families do the like, we're going to eat dinner at 2:00 and then we're going to eat a second dinner at like 8? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting nods.
Oh, yeah.
So the like second dinner, 8:00, my mom was like, "Hey, I'll make some like light snacks, whatever." And then she came out with sausages and corn dogs. And I was like, something on your mind? It was like, maybe this is a coincidence. And then that kind of went out the window when she served dessert, which was, of course, bananas Foster. So, clearly this had been impacting the night. And things became even more suspicious once the Twister box came out. But when we had to go was when no less than 3 people asked John point blank if he can hula hoop. And then it was Jover.
Come on.
Where did they want the hoop, Andrew?
It's the dealer's choice, Kyle.
If I ever went to like a family gathering and they're like, "Let's play Twister," I think I would leave. And that's even without having a big naked
I
partner.
don't know that I would come back.
Yeah, like forever.
Yeah.
I would have to be glugging some real hardcore, like Uncle Jerry's Barnstorm Barnyard barrel
Paint
chaser,
stripper.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah, you
the
got
fuck my
there.
mom has in her basement. Bop it. That's another one.
No, those verbs are bad. I figured it out. If you go to a family that plays Twister recreationally, is the same kind of family that kisses each other on the lips, and I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I accept that. I think that's accurate. Oh, there's some shade for your listeners. If you're a Twister family,
Yeah, if you're the kind of family that kisses each
sorry.
other on the lips,
hey, I mean, you do you.
Todd's not a fan.
Speaking of things I'm not a fan of, Matt, how did your family make Crib feel welcome?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Typically, when we do family get-togethers, there's always the question of what family are we inviting? Like, is it the whole family? Is it like most of the family?
Mom's side, dad's side.
Yeah, and you know what?
Immediate
Honestly,
cousins, what you got?
even sometimes when it's one side or the other, there's like, are we doing this like the whole side or not?
How many kids are coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I told my family this year, I checked with my new life partner, Crib, the alien hag with a backpack full of children, and they let me know that they want to meet the whole family. We can bring everybody, which is great because I've got like a handful of pregnant cousins right now, and I think that it's going to go over super well with my new partner, and my family is really excited because honestly, it's pretty rare that somebody in my family is like bold enough to say, you know what, let's do it. Let's make this the whole year. We're going the whole way. And the one thing that I did tell
Matt, does Crib often
whole hog,
ask,
if you will?
whole hog? No, I will not. I absolutely will not.
Does Crib regularly ask how fast the kids can run? Is that like a thing in her like dossier of questions?
It's on the list. I mean, she talks a lot about like genetics and predisposition and that sort of thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but
that sounds right.
What I did have my family do to really make Crib feel comfortable when she came to the house was after Thanksgiving, we all sat around together, and instead of watching A Christmas Story like we often do, we instead went through all of the lore and told the story of the German folk creature Krampus, because realistically, Crib and Krampus are pretty much the same. And it took me inviting this alien hag to a holiday party to put those two things together. But I think that it's a nice way to honor her culture because she's probably the breed of, or the race of alien hag that Krampus is based on. Yep.
That
You saying all hags look alike, Matt?
he might
I'm saying that if they're from this alien race, I honestly don't know what race Crib is.
I don't think you get this one because
I do. It's Varanian. Of course, DC has done this before.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so your argument is that Crib steals children.
Yeah.
And because Krampus also does that, they're basically the same. Ergo, Crib is a holiday character. That's what you're saying.
Close. Honestly, the thing that more got me there is that Krampus, deep Krampus lore for you, when Krampus steals children, he like carries them in a sack on his back. He also has a backpack baby Bjorn. So
I've given one person a gift one time. Does that mean I'm Santa Claus?
No, because you didn't. No.
Did you climb down their chimney?
I mean, by Matt's logic, I have made a fire in a chimney one time. Ergo, that's close enough.
I don't think you can compare those things. I think if you steal
that argument a bit
if you
too far.
steal children around the holiday, you're on a much shorter list than people who give gifts.
Okay.
Yeah, and further, we all know how the Santa Claus works. You do have to push Santa off the roof to be Santa Claus. And don't pretend you don't know the rules of Santa Claus.
We've all seen Tim Allen movies.
I may as well be the alien with a backpack full of children in this example. Yes, that's fair.
Hey, this is what I was asking. I got what I asked for. Yep. This is the energy I wanted. We've kind of gone back and forth on like, is this the future? Has this already happened? I don't know. I've lost the plot. The bottom line is, obviously, this relationship did not work out. So the Super Secret bonus question we have today before we go to break is, relationship didn't work out. Why not? What happened? And assuming that you were the one that broke up with him, how'd you let him down gently? What did that look like? And we will get all of those answers once we get back from this break.
Okay, now for the lightning round.
I'm so good at lightning rounds. That's from Friends. It's my favorite show.
20 seconds on the clock starts now. Who is the captain of the USS Enterprise?
Oh, crap. Is it, Captain Stubing? No, Morgan? Crunch?
Next question. Which superhero is Tony Stark?
Stark. Did Game of Thrones have superheroes? I only watched 2 episodes.
What planet were Luke and Leia born on?
Planet Fitness?
Oh, time's up. Sorry. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey everybody, Mandy Kaplan here. Please check out my podcast, Make Me a Nerd, where each week an incredible guest tries to baptize this mainstream mom into the world of sci-fi, fantasy, and all things nerdy. Available wherever you podcast.
That's our show, folks.
Wait, I just thought of it. Padme Amidala gave birth to her twins Luke and Leia on Polis Massa. No, that's dumb. Is it Planet Hollywood?
And we're back. As a reminder, last question we left him with for the super secret bonus question is, relationship obviously wasn't going to work out, just 2 different people. Why not? And how'd you let him down gently? Kyle, we'll start with you.
Todd, I brought up knives. I've brought up...
Was it the stab wounds, Kyle?
The stab wounds were certainly a factor. They weighed heavily in the decision. I won't get into the specifics as to the why, but as to the how, I will say it was across state lines using a few VPNs to deliver the
news. We're not sponsored by NordVPN, but it's what Kyle used to break up with his manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love having to remote in using a VPN and being in New Zealand to get away with it.
So, you could probably guess it gets pretty old when someone constantly knows like what's going to happen every second in the future. Doesn't bother to give you one measly lottery ticket number, like not even one. Like,
Man.
hey man, I mean, I get it, but like you're trying to like, yeah,
No
like
sports almanac.
even like, hey, pick up that booster instead of that one. That one's got a good, like, that's it. You know, that's all I ask. So a rich man calling himself Ozymandias told me that the only way to save the world was to go on live television and tell everybody that John gave me cancer. So I did that without realizing the repercussions of my actions. That would eventually leave millions of people dying. That's just the plot of Watchmen.
Yeah,
So,
you
This is
did
the plot of
you did
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
just the plot of Watchmen.
Matt.
Yeah, Todd, like I said up at the beginning of this, part of the reason that I've always been such a massive disappointment to my family is that I'm not really that interested in having kids. And I'll be honest, after a half dozen fosters passing through the home within 48 business hours, I was pretty fried on fostering. And I let Crib know about that. And she didn't take it super well, but she also just asked if I had any pregnant friends, and I gave her a few names of people that I'm acquainted with, but certainly am not close with and wouldn't miss. And she left into the night, hopefully never to be seen again, off to harvest more children to power her fear battery, because that is her only ideology.
So you basically did the Paranormal Activity situation where you just kind of pushed it off to someone else to hope for the best.
Shuffled it off onto someone else.
Well, I hit her with the trusty, it's not you, it's me.
It's not me. It's the back full of kids.
Yeah, you're not ready for the commitment a child entails.
Right.
Let alone multiple orphaned children.
This has been a lot. And I now realize, so like in our episodes, it's always who gave the best answer. And I don't know if that's what I've actually done here today. Like, I don't know what the best premise here is. So I guess like for the closing statements, I just need a summation of what has happened to you so I can figure out who has somehow appeased and disappointed their parents the most.
Look, Todd, we're not always proud of our dating history, but I will say it was a wild time.
Kyler, is that side wound seeping still?
Yeah, it won't heal, and I don't know why.
What's a serrated blade, Kyle? It was a tri-tip blade. Those are outlawed after the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Always check both their pockets, Todd, when you're checking someone for weapons.
All right, Andrew.
My decision to date somebody who, one, can explode, can obliterate anything with a look, probably says a lot about what I was going through at the time. But I think more importantly, on an emotional level, this is someone who is always in an existential crisis, who is like personality wise, like just pure nihilism, like the actual embodiment of nihilism. But man, that hog's swanging. He's swanging.
Great.
Yeah, I introduced the family to an alien hag with a backpack full of babies. And if I am to believe the questions I've gotten from my grandparents for the last 5 years of my life, that's all they've ever really wanted. And I think that's important. And also, I didn't have somebody hang dong at family dinner, and that's just so deeply upsetting to me in a way that I can't really describe. So that's what I got.
Phenomenal. I have to think about who wins in this dumb thing we've done. So while I do that, go ahead and give each other some good vibes.
Yeah, Andrew, I said, I think off mic,
Yeah.
that I was looking through the notes earlier and immediately clocked the bit. And that is not to say that the bit was degraded at all by my clocking it.
Thanks, man.
Great bit. I was immediately jealous that you thought of it. I was like, oh, that's so good. And you delivered. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, Matt, the alien hag of it all is great, but you really had me when your rebuttal to the when will you give us kids are we have plenty now. So,
we have 20 or 30 probably. I think what I like the most about this episode was, I think there's a version of this episode where I bring on Scott Summers and Kyle brings on Batman and Matt brings, like, I don't know, another annoying character, one that we talk about all the time. And while that episode is totally fine, I really appreciate that you both brought deep cuts, like B-sides of B-sides. I mean, this is like the time that Matt brought the road that is Stan,
Danny the Street.
Danny the Street. Thank you.
Danny the Street.
the road
Not to be
is
confused.
Stan.
Not to be confused with Stan the Road. Yeah, Kyle, Dwella Dent is a nightmare. It's like a combination of like X-23, but also the guy that likes to cut himself in the Batman canon.
Oh, I saw his name on a list today.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is, though.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Really good answer. Really, I mean, I'm gonna be thinking about all these for a while. But like the Joker, I'm going to take this Joker face and now it is my face, is inspired. Similar, Matt, you brought a big xenomorph that has a cage full of children to this episode. And that's different. That was a different thing that I thought another human would do. And I respect you for it. It's quite a pool. I'm very interested if this was a listicle one or you just had this one in the chamber. But either way, well done, both of you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this in the post show, which again, you can hear if you join our Patreon over at patreon.com/debatethiscast. Kyle, Dwella Dent's fucking crazy, man. And what's even crazier is that, like, boy, if you would have caught me in 2013, I probably would have done it.
Speaking your language.
I have brought people to meet my family that are fewer clicks away from Dwella Dent than I would care to admit. And I think that that's really funny. Also, yeah, great pull. I really love that unprompted, we all did DC stuff. That never happens, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
Victor Zaz was who I was thinking of, by the way.
Victor
Yeah,
Zaz.
yeah.
He's the one.
Andrew, I really liked this Dr. Manhattan thing that you did. I really hated the concept of like, hey, I brought my friend for dinner. Also, they're hanging dogs. Like, I hate that so bad. That makes me so deeply uncomfortable.
It's like the premise of like a 70s sitcom episode. But
yeah,
This is my
well.
boyfriend, Naked Steve. He's naked all the time.
This is my boyfriend, the nudist. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter that he's glowing blue and can float and again can
the second most
dismantle.
troubling part about him is that.
Yeah, can dismantle anything on a subatomic level, but he's not wearing any pants.
Yeah, man. I really liked that. I thought you were gonna do like he's already met my parents because he experiences time as a thing.
Sure, yeah.
You know, so I liked
Oh, God.
I liked what you did a lot better than that. Yeah, good job all around, everybody.
I'm so thrilled that this weird thing happened this way, but I do have to make a decision. And I don't know how to articulate this decision other than to walk through these real quick. So first off, Kyle, it's not going to be you, but I do want to be really clear. All of us have fallen in love with the Hot Topic cashier at least one time in our life.
Yeah.
And what you presented was something that you're dating this person for you. You need this. This is for you.
Kind of like not a Hot Topic cashier, but this woman is wearing a Hot Topic cashier's face.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to. Duella Dent has a non-zero amount of Invader Zim shirts. I want to be clear.
Has said rar on a lot.
And like while biting you, but not play biting, like actual biting. But I do want to underline, like, this is a good example of you show up like this, and it's very clear you've done this for you. You're going through something. You need this.
Everyone else in the room immediately clocks like, we're not bringing this one up.
Yeah.
No, Kyle's going through something. You let him be. Andrew, it's not going to be you. And I want to dive into this real quick because one, deeply upsetting. You understood the assignment perfectly.
Honestly, I'm taking that as a compliment compared to Cage Full of Children.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
we're
is the
getting
one
there.
that's deeply unsettling. So
We're getting there. For me, in your storytelling, you met Dr. Manhattan before he had been blued, and it seems like you stayed with him for him. You did this for Dr. Manhattan to try and help him. Matt, you are the winner today because you did this for your parents. And I love nothing more than the monkey's paw agreement of this all. That you took the assignment and said, yeah, I'll give you what you want. What you want is an alien that kidnaps kids, huh? This is your kids. And I think there's nothing better than giving your family exactly what they want in the worst way possible. And isn't that the reason for the season?
It is. Weaponized competence. Isn't that what they call it? That's what we're doing here.
It's typically weaponized incompetence, but this is weaponized
That's
competence, I think.
Yeah, that's weaponized
Yeah.
competence.
Yeah, so congratulations, Matt. You and Crib are the winners,
Nice.
but I think everyone's the loser.
Everybody who was a parent is the loser in my scenario.
We all lost today.
I am excited to get into the deep lore of Crib because it's troubling. Okay. Anyway, thanks for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Debate This Cast. Or maybe we're not on Twitter. Maybe Twitter gets fired into the moon. I don't know. But you can find us on our website at debatethiscast.com. Now, have you ever come to the end of an episode just like this and found yourself wondering, man, I really like listening to Debate This 3 out of 4 Tuesdays each month. I wish I could somehow turn that 3 into a 4, or in the month of December where there's 5 Tuesdays, maybe a 4 into a 5. Well, great news. It's called Debate This Premium Feed, and it's available right now through our Patreon at patreon.com/debatethiscast. You can subscribe for the low price of $5 a month and get all the current and past episodes of our exclusive Patreon show, Deconstructed, which is about Disney Channel original movies, and we're going to talk about Horse Sense
Horse
next.
sense.
Oh, we are doing horse
Which-
sense.
Is for someone. It's all of our real life partners. That's who it's for. And listen, being part of our Patreon is the gift that keeps on giving. It's 75% cheaper than your standard issue battle pass. And when you need to just numb your senses to the world around you, we got a whole backlog of content there for you. Until next time, I'm Todd Thomas.
I'm Kyle. How do I hide the 30 to 50 foot glowing hog that swang into my yard within 3 to 5 minutes while my small kids play in a bone cage? Harper.
Really good. I'm Andrew. Does your hog hang low? Is it glowing through and through? Is it staring right at you? Is it pulsing bright and blue? Henderson.
And I'm Matt, a backlog full of babies. Cole.
And we're saying, thanks for debating with us. And you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.